Alrighty, everybody. This is where we left off in our last video. Our next goal, I'm going to zoom out. So if I hit Control minus a bunch of times, zoom out. Our next goal is going to be to take this single leaf that we just made and turn it into this thing here. Let me grab both of these. Yeah. So there's kind of a lot of steps you got to follow in a certain order. So hang out with me for a sec here. Again, this video assumes that you have a leaf, that you've also grouped the leaf by selecting everything, right-clicking, and choosing group. I don't have that because I'm already grouped. Now, first thing to do is to rotate this a little bit. So I'm going to simply select this group of lines, and then I'm going to hit the R key to rotate. R to rotate. Now, I don't even have to touch the object. In fact, I find it easier to do this when you bring this cursor up above the object. And I'll click and drag this to the right. And I'm going roughly 45 degrees, 40 degrees-ish. I don't know. 45 looks good, like so. Okay, so this is going to be the right side of my row of leaves. Okay, Mr. Z, I don't want to copy. I don't want to make a new one. I just want to copy it. Good, you should. To copy, you're going to hold Alt. Alt on your keyboard. Alt. Click and drag on one of these lines. And try and get it to go straight with this purple line here. Or you could hold Shift to make it go straight. So I'm Alt, clicking and dragging. Let go of the mouse first. Boom. So I got this copy. Now, the easy thing to do would be to rotate this, I don't know, 180 degrees or something like that. But that's not going to make a perfect symmetrical thing. Look, something is off when I did that. It doesn't look perfect. I want this to be perfect. Do that again. I'm going to Alt, drag it over. Let go of the mouse. Now, when we rotated this, we used the R key. And I hit R, and this is the rotate tool. It looks like a little rotation. Okay, but under the rotate tool is something called the flip tool. I'm going to hit O for flip. Oh! Okay, this is the reflect tool, I should call it. What's fun about the reflect tool is the second you click and drag around, just like we rotated around, it will flip it. And I'm going to hold Shift while I do this. So hold Shift, click and drag, and now you have this perfectly flipped little flower. I'm going to show that one more time. After you copy, you're going to hit the O key to flip. Bring your cursor up above in this white area, hold the Shift key, and click and drag to the left. And it flips it perfectly. Wowza! Now that you've done that, grab the black arrow tool and group these two things together. Select it all, right-click, and group. If you want, you could even like shrink this down a little bit. When you shrink it down, your stroke seems to be thicker, so you can make your stroke smaller now. 4 points? I don't know. You want it to roughly take up this much space. Again, I group this, so this will all move together when I click on it. All right, let's move it down to the corner here. And I'm going to zoom in on it. Control plus, Control plus. I need to show more space above because we're going to copy the copies in the above area here. All right. So again, we're going to Alt drag to copy this. Alt, click and drag up. And we need to make a row of about 10 of these leaves, 10 pairs of these leaves. So I held Alt. I'll let go of the mouse first. Now, without clicking on anything else, hit the Control and D as in duplicate. Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. Okay, awesome. Notice mine kind of started going off to the left. We want it to be perfectly straight. So I'm going to undo, undo, undo. I'm going to do this one more time. Hold Alt, click and drag up. Hold Shift if you want it to be straight. And without click, let's let go of the mouse. I let go of the keyboard. Now hit Control D about 8 or 9 times. Control D. I'll zoom out, Control minus. You now have this rad bar of leaves that we need to curve in a second. Okay. I'm going to do that one more time. Zoom in. Alt, drag up. Also hold shift so it stays straight. Without clicking on anything else, hit Control D. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll give myself a dozen of these things. Okay. I have a dozen pairs of these laurel leaves or whatever you want to call them. I'll now select all of these. You know what to do. Right click and group. So we're getting close. We have about 3 or 4 more steps here, people. Do not duplicate this yet. We want to make one nice rounded one. Duplicate it and flip it, just like we did with the leaves. Okay, so let's arc this. Remember, we have grouped this together by selecting everything, right-clicking and choosing group. Now we're going to look under the effect window. Effect. 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 In the middle is warp. And then on the top of warp is arc. Don't get scared. This is going to look messy in a sec. Arc. The reason it looks like this, all looks like a cone, is that it is bending it, arcing it horizontally. We have a vertical line. Boom. And just like that, it's going to look great. You can bend it a little less, a little more. You could give it distortion to see what happens. Although I don't really recommend distorting it. So I bent it 50%. I just kept the default. And then click OK. Now we have some weirdness here that we need to take care of. There is a discrepancy between the blue paths and the actual lines. To fix this, go under the Object menu and choose Expand Appearance. Object, Expand Appearance. Nice. To copy this, 2 ways of copying it, Alt drag or Control C, Control V. I'm going to Alt drag so it stays in the same line up here. Sure. And now we need to flip it again using not the rotation control, but the O, which happens to be reflect. So I'm going to hit reflect and then hold the shift key, click and drag down, and it flips it. Boom. This is awesome. I'm actually going to request that you group these 2 things together as well. So click and drag. We'll make sure they're spaced out appropriately. I'm going to fit something inside there. I'm going to give myself some more room. Notice that this white artboard is too small. We could fix the artboard by using the artboard tool. That is this tool, and it's next to the magnifying glass, artboard tool. The artboard tool lets you make the artboards bigger. Like so. File, save your work. That is it for the day. Later we will put a crest in here and we will start filling that crest with a spirit animal, a place, maybe some food. Is there a last name in here somewhere? Yeah, hope you enjoyed. And ask your teacher to check you off here that you have finished this. There is no need to turn anything in on this. Thank you.